What is up, boyos? Welcome to Last Week in Games, where everything is video games. Last week, we heard some news about Chris Pratt being weird. Rock Band is now owned by Epic, just like everything else, and a bunch of other stuff that we'll get into. My name is Jake. That over there next to me is Nick. How you doing?
Hello.
Nick? How was your Thanksgiving, man?
It was fine. It was a good Thanksgiving. Like it was, I guess, uneventful. Most things. Danielle had a cousin fly in from New Jersey, so we were having her out here. But the more important thing that I wanted to discuss on this week's show, is Applebee's.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about Applebee's. Okay, I know where you're going with this.
I've probably already complained to it about you, but I feel like I want to open this up to discussion.
You complained to Applebee's about me?
Yeah. You came here to kill me? That's the same vibe I got. No, who the fuck goes to Applebee's? How is Applebee's still a thing?
Yeah, it's
So I went because we had a $10 gift card that we've had, I don't fucking know how long. We probably got it with like a blood donation or something like that. And they're like, here's a thing to Applebee's. And I'm like, I hate Applebee's. But two reasons why we went. One, they had a new Mountain Dew flavor that you can't get anywhere else.
Oh, yeah, that purple thing or whatever it is.
It's not very good.
Yeah, it looks
not very different.
Looks potent.
It's not. It's actually very muted.
Oh,
it was very muted. Second thing, they are doing a promotion for Flamin' Hot Cheetos boneless wings. Also not very good.
That says everything you need to know about Applebee's.
Yeah, and it's really sad that I ordered a steak because I don't buy steak.
That's a weird move, dude.
Is it though? Like so I went to Applebee's. And I look at their menu, right? And they have the three little bifold thing of menu. So I'm looking and I'm like, I can make that. 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 I'm like, what do I usually not get?
Steak is the easiest thing to make, dude.
It's so easy to make. So I looked on it and I'm like, I'll get a steak. We got a gift card. We'll fucking use this gift card up. That way we'd never have to come back here again. So I order a steak. It is the worst fucking steak I've ever had in my entire life. Like it shouldn't even have been a thing that existed in the first place. Whoever fucking it wasn't cooked bad, although it wasn't cooked great. It wasn't cooked bad. It was edible. Yeah. But the quality of the steak, like you can't sell that as top sirloin when it is clearly not top sirloin, and it is like.
Well, the thing is, Nick, no one orders a steak at Applebee's. So that cut of steak you got is from 12 years ago.
That would make sense.
It's just been sitting back there. It's just
been frozen in the freezer. That would make sense. It was so bad. I got some freaking... I got some mashed potatoes, which were just microwave mashed potatoes, and I got some broccoli. And the broccoli they gave me was like 5 little florets of broccoli.
Yeah,
florets. Just little tiny things. So I nommed the broccoli, also microwaved, by the way. No butter on it, no nothing, no salt, no garnish at all. It was just we microwaved a bag of broccoli and threw pieces onto your plate. At least like the mashed potatoes had a little bit of green onion on there, and I'm like, okay, well, these are fine. Worst experience I've ever had at a dining, and I will never go back. There are 2 places I have sworn off in this year alone that I will never shop at or buy anything from, and that is Applebee's and that is Kohl's.
Kohl's?
Never going to those. Fuck Kohl's, dude.
What's wrong with Kohl's?
So Kohl's, this is okay. Here we go. We're done with Applebee's.
We're burning bridges here.
Yeah, unless you got something else. Applebee's, Kohl's, don't fucking sponsor us because I don't want your shit.
Oh my god. No, sponsor us, please.
So Changed my mind. Sponsor us.
Yeah.
So anyway, Kohl's. We're done with Applebee's. That was my rant on Applebee's.
Yeah, what's wrong with Kohl's?
Kohl's
just clothes, right?
No, it's everything, dude. So we're putting up curtains in our living room because our living room's kind of empty. So we're putting up curtains
at Kohl's.
They have curtains at Kohl's. So there's this brand it's a Walmart brand. It's like Walmart has the shit, and they sell these
Kroger?
for like. No, it's not like great value. You know, it's the Walmart has these curtains in stock, and they're like $15-ish each.
Yeah,
$10 to $15 depending on what kind you get, how long they are. So we're like, okay, cool. Let's find the color we want. Well, Walmart doesn't have all of the colors of these. So we're like, okay, well, what places has like the biggest selection? We ended up on Kohl's, and we just ordered a bunch of them. Kohl's doesn't sell them for $15 each. Kohl's sells them for $80 each. And then they tell you that they're discounting it to $23 each.
yeah.
And then on top of that, you can get Kohl's Cash and use your Kohl's Cash, but you have to pay for shipping unless your order is like $75 big.
I do remember that about Kohl's. I used to get some clothes at Kohl's when I was a young lad. I don't go there anymore, but yeah, I remember like, you know, I'd want to get Vans shoes, and they'd be like the basic Vans, and they'd be like $80. Yep. It's like, these are basic, you know, $50-$60 Vans. Why are they $80 here?
But they're on sale for $65.
Yeah, they'll do that sometimes. And then I was when I got older, when I shopped for myself finally, I was like, oh, I'll just go to the Vans store. What am I doing?
Yep.
Yeah.
Then way more selection for the same, if not better price.
But I do remember them having like okay clothes there, especially if you're like a dad. They had some like good dad selection there.
Yeah, but it's still overpriced.
Of dad clothes.
It's still so overpriced. Anyway, so we get these things in, we look at them, we choose a color, and we're like, we'll just return the rest of them and then order more of the color that we want. So we go into Kohl's, we return them at the return checkout, and in order, they don't have the color that we want. Oh, nice.
So,
nice.
Very professional.
Jeez, Malise. So we return them. We go to the kiosks because if you order it online, you have to pay shipping. Otherwise,
yeah, gotcha.
Unless it's like $75. So we go to the kiosk because if you order it in store, you don't have to pay shipping. So we go to the kiosk, put all this information in. The screen doesn't work very well, so we're sitting there like tapping things 4 or 5 times just to put in like emails and credit card information and whatnot.
I've actually had this experience at a Kohl's.
So then we go to check out.
Garbage, yeah.
We go to check out or order the shit, and it's like, oh, if you want to order this shit online, we're going to charge you an extra $6 for each of these things. And we're like, why the fuck why? Because it's not in this store, but the store price is $6 less. You're going to charge me $30 for each of these things just because. And I swore it off because it was so, it was so ridiculous.
Welcome.
These fake discounts to create a sense of urgency are straight up illegal. It's just that nobody bothers to sue them.
Yeah,
is it really illegal?
We're going to sue them right now. Well, I mean, it's I don't know. I feel like it's like on the verge of illegal for sure. Your camera's doing weird things today.
Dude, I know.
Don't worry about it though. It's fine. All right, let's move on. What you been playing, Nick? What games have you been playing, my man?
Oh man, okay. I have another fucking gripe. We're getting negative Nancy's over here.
Don't.
I am so fucking negative on this one. All right, so another fucking thing that I had. I've been playing Forza Horizon 5.
Okay.
I played it yesterday. Played a little bit. I played a lot yesterday. So I played most of the day. Then I started playing Gloomhaven, and then went back to Forza Horizon just to try it with the fellas. Forza Horizon 5 is a bad game.
Really?
Yeah.
Why do you say that?
Yeah, it's a bad. They did nothing different. It is Forza Horizon 4 with a new map and the same shitty multiplayer. So you're playing multiplayer and you're online. You can get into a convoy. I don't know how many people you can have in a convoy. We had 4. We couldn't get a race in with all 4 of us at all. It would be like, okay, the leader, and only the leader can start the races. So the leader starts the race. Everybody has to accept it within like a 5-second window. And if you're in a cutscene, it kicks you out of the convoy and you have to rejoin again. But you can't like back out of the race to pick up those people who got kicked. So you have to do the entire race. Every time we started a race, somebody was kicked. If you're driving in free roam next to somebody, they can just disappear from your instance, and then they won't show up for like 5 minutes, and they'll pop back in somewhere in the world. So you'll be like driving next to your friend, and you're like, this is so cool, like pit maneuvering them and stuff, and like, you know, going up and down mountains and shit and breaking stuff. And then they'll just disappear. They just won't be there anymore. The loading, I have to say I'm playing it on an Xbox One S, so it doesn't look pretty. I know that's like the biggest thing that everybody says is this game looks pretty. It looks like garbage on an Xbox One S.
Yeah, you are playing on a 1S though.
Yeah, but everybody else isn't, and they are still having these problems with like network.
Yeah.
So
I will say about Forza, the last one, because I haven't really played the new one, but the last one, I never really played it online, and I thought the experience offline was great. And I think that's what everyone's talking about when they're like, "This is a great game."
Yeah,
I think this is also the issue with like when you know, like an IGN or whatever, like game journos get the game early, especially for online games. It's like they don't get to experience what the netcode and the problems with the netcode, because as much as we like to make excuses for these things, that is still part of the game. And if there's issues with that, I mean, that's still gonna hurt the quality of the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
But from my point of view, Forza Horizon is like not primarily a multiplayer game. But I don't know.
Yeah. So then I'll jump into reasons why I hate the single player. I don't think any of the cars feel different. They sound different. A lot of the cars just kind of feel like, oh, this one turns a little bit faster, or it's squirrely in the back a little bit. They just kind of fucking give you cars too. There's no challenge to anything. It's just like, hey, complete this race, roll this fucking wheel, and then we'll just give you a fucking S tier car for free. And there you go, just complete races. The story is complete trash. The voice acting is complete trash. The missions are kind of boring. You have to drive quite a long ways sometimes.
Ghost hand.
Thank you. You have to drive quite a long ways in order to get to your mission, which is fine. It's a driving game, right? But then you drive, and then you're sitting at a loading screen. Then you have to choose your car. Then you're sitting at another loading screen. And then you get in your car and race, and the race takes 2 minutes, maybe. Especially the drag races where you literally just go in a line. And I don't know if you remember, but like Need for Speed would have like, if you did a drag race, you'd have to like hit the button as your RPMs hit like a certain spot. There's none of that. It's just you hold right trigger and go as fast as your car will let you. The missions are kind of shitty. What else? What else do I got on the single player? Yeah, it's just I don't like it. I enjoy it as like a time sink, but I have no idea who or why this game has 9s and 10s. It makes no sense. They didn't do anything intuitive. They didn't do anything new. They just fucking took the same game with the same cars and fucking plastered it over a new place. And that's all they did. And it's kind of it's kind of stupid how everybody's like, this game's so good. I hate this game. I hate this game so bad.
I hate it.
I hate it.
Well, I'll probably never play it, so I don't know. I've been playing Gloomhaven. Honestly, Nick, I'll be honest with you here right now. I didn't play a whole lot last week. It was a pretty busy week, Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving for sure.
All that stuff. Thanksgiving was lame as hell. But I did play some Gloomhaven with you, which Gloomhaven continues to be a fantastic game. And if anyone hasn't played it, go play it. It's a lot. If you don't know what it is, it's like a board game sort of thing, but it's worth checking out. But mainly what I've been playing, Nick, and you're not going to believe this. I'm
going to believe it. I don't care what it is.
Tetris Effect.
Oh man.
And
you're right. I don't believe you. I
am currently working on getting double S's and everything in Tetris Effect, and it's making me want to pull my hair out, but I am just having a great time doing it. But yeah, that's literally all I've been playing. So I have Shin Megami Tensei, and it's just sitting there, and I haven't started it. Because I know the first time I start up the game, that's going to be my longest play session, right? From then on, I can pick it up 30 minutes, hours, But that first session, that's when they give you the shit at the beginning,
Well, yeah, you can't really step away from it because it's all exposition and shit like that.
Gotta show you the world, yeah. So I'm like, I need a session where I can just sit down for 2 hours to really get this going. Maybe tonight, I don't know. So we'll see. Anyway, let's get into what we lovingly call the titties. These are some tidbits of news that we think are worth mentioning. First thing on here, I have Chris Pratt cringe. Basically, people are talking about how, the reason this is on here is because Chris Pratt is playing Mario, and a lot of people are like, Chris Pratt's not Italian. Why is he playing Mario? Is he going to have the Italian accent? According to Chris Melandandri, I'm sorry, Chris. He is the president of Illuminations who's making this. He's like, I get the complaints, but I'm Italian, so it's fine.
Well, with a name like Melandandri,
yeah. Well, this is what he said. As an Italian American myself, I understand. I understand the comments. But he pointed out Charlie Day, who is playing Luigi, actually comes from Italian heritage. So that's our nod.
Okay. He's just slow. It's fine.
That makes it okay.
That makes it fine. That's our nod to Italian people is Charlie Day.
Yeah.
Okay. I see it. It's all good now. It's all good.
Yeah. He basically said Chris Pratt is not doing an Italian accent, so there you go. That's all there is in that titty. Death Stranding studio Kojima Productions has announced a brand new division as it looks beyond video games. No new projects have been announced, but the company says the Los Angeles-based office will, quote, focus on securing opportunities in the film and television space. I put this in titties because it's like, I thought we knew.
Yeah. Everybody inferred.
Yeah.
It's so now
it's just official. Kojima is doing some TV and film stuff.
Surprising.
Cool. Yeah. The man's been wanting to do that for literally decades. But I'm excited to see what he's got.
He's got some weird ideas, so I'm game with it.
I hope what these studios do is they just get ideas from Kojima and he doesn't actually direct anything. Because I feel like Kojima is he's great at coming up with ideas, but maybe a lot like George Lucas, he's probably not a great director. So we'll see what happens. Especially since there's been a lot of rumors about Kojima currently working on his next video game project. So we'll see.
Yeah. I don't know if he writes as all of his stuff either, but he's not a very good English writer.
Yeah. I'm sure he writes all his stuff in Japanese and there's a translator.
Yeah.
According to a report from Deadline, Amazon Studios is, quote, nearing a deal to make a TV series based on BioWare's popular Mass Effect series.
Oh. They're trying to do Star Wars.
Basically.
Yeah.
More adult Star Wars, right?
It's perfect, dude. I can't believe they haven't thought of this before. Hey, let's make a Mass Effect game.
I think if they put the budget into it, it'll be good.
TV. Yeah, for sure.
But the real concern I have with something like this is I think about that new Cowboy Bebop show, where it's like, that maybe would have been good if you put in, $100 million an episode.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's going to Amazon Studios is a good sign, and let me tell you why. Because Amazon Studios is currently working on a Lord of the Rings series.
Oh yeah, and then they're putting way more money into it than
any other show, period.
Then I think all three trilogy, the entire trilogy is
like combined. Yeah,
combined costs less than the show.
Yeah, so that makes me believe that Amazon might put money into it, and they have the money to do it. So
they've got more money than anyone else. So if somebody's going to put the money into it, they will.
How do you feel about a Mass Effect series?
I'm down. I like the Mass Effect world. I like the lore, and I don't think we have enough space shit. I feel like we need more space.
Shit.
Adventures, because we got Star Trek, which I find kind of scientific and boring. But then we have like Star Wars, which is more mythological. And I feel like Mass Effect kind of does both.
Yeah, it is kind of in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's cool. I think if they do it right, this could be huge.
Yeah, I totally agree. This could be, one of the first instances of, look, a video game property can be good.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that it's a series, we've talked to death about this, but like, video games translate better to television, to TV shows than film or movies, because video games are so fucking long that it's almost like you're making a short and worse version when you turn it into a movie.
You're just speeding everything up because you have to hit all these fucking bullet points.
Yeah, I'm super excited for The Last of Us, so I think that's going to be the first thing where people are like, this is actually good. But we'll see.
Nervous about the casting, but
I think the casting's pretty okay. I like Pedro Pascal as Joel.
I love Pedro Pascal, yeah, but I don't know about
Ellie.
She just doesn't. I don't know. Maybe I've only seen her in Game of Thrones, so maybe she can do it, but I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. It's always a concern when it's a child, just in general. Child actors suck.
But she's not really even a child. I think she's like just a short.
How old is she?
Young adult.
Last of Us TV show cast. What's her name?
I don't know.
Bella Ramsey. Bella Ramsey age. She has just turned 18.
37. Oh, 18. Yeah, okay.
God, she's born in 2003 and she's 18. Jesus fucking Christ. Anyway,
she wasn't even around for 9/11. Can you believe that shit?
What the hell? She doesn't even know.
Doesn't even know.
Where were you? Chat, where were you?
Chat, where were you at 9/11? Were you around?
What were you doing? What were you up to? What were you thinking about?
I mean, you say that, but it's actually. I think everybody who was around.
Don't comment. I don't want to fucking know.
I do.
I don't
Comment.
want to know.
Comment away.
So I was in my room beating off. Anyway.
Nice. 9 a.m, beating off.
Yeah, I was in Japan actually, so.
Midnight.
Yeah.
Nice. Beating off.
That makes sense. Anyway, let's move on. The show's off the rails.
Why not beat? Why does that make sense? You can beat off at any time of the day or night.
The show has fallen off the rails. Anyway, let's get into the news. This is the actual news.
Here we go.
The more you know. I keep meaning to implement the
some shit,
but I don't ever do it.
This is the news.
Yeah. Epic scoops up Rock Band creator Harmonix. This comes from Andrew Webster at The Verge. Fortnite maker Epic Games has announced its latest acquisition, Harmonix, the studio behind iconic music games like Guitar Hero and Rock Band. In a blog post, Harmonix said that support for existing games like Rock Band and Fuser would continue. The studio also explained its plans to expand into, what else? The metaverse. Now we'll be working with Epic to once again challenge expectations as we bring our unique brand of musical gaming experiences to the metaverse. And we couldn't be more excited, the blog post reads. As part of this, Epic says that the studio will, quote, develop musical journeys and gameplay for Fortnite.
That's fucking crazy, dude.
How does that make you feel, Nick?
You know, I didn't know what the term metaverse meant until just a few weeks ago.
Facebook?
Well, sort of. Because like you hear it now all the time. I'm like, what the fuck is the metaverse? Why is everybody talking about the metaverse? Apparently, it's just like what VR chat is.
Yeah, but it's like the world that exists not in reality.
Right. Yeah, and you can leave your reality to go into that reality.
Yeah, it's like Ready Player One or whatever.
Yeah. Or Black Mirror is more what I'm getting. I think it's kind of
The Matrix. Yeah,
I think it's kind of cool that, you know, I don't know if it's cool. Like who owned Harmonix before?
I think they were just their own thing.
They were just their own thing. It sucks. This fucking sucks.
Wow, what a shift.
Yeah, fuck it. No, Rock Band. I like Rock Band more than Guitar Hero because Guitar Hero is owned by Activision Blizzard, and Activision Blizzard cannot be fucking trusted with any IPs.
You know who else can't be trusted though? Epic Games.
That I don't know, man. I can trust them to do Fortnite and get shit for Fortnite.
That's true.
That's about it. And give away free games every month. But they can't be trusted with MOBAs, and that makes me hate them. No, what I don't like is the fact that this little company, good for them that they got picked up, and you know they're gonna make more money and grow and stuff. This little company who has all the say in everything that they do got picked up by a company that now has the say in everything they do and everything that they will do as long as they're still attached to Epic. I'm not saying that Epic's going to be like big bad EA where it's like, oh, you got to make this in this time frame, otherwise, you know, you're all fired. But I don't know. I don't like when big ass companies pick up these game studios.
Yeah,
work alongside maybe, sure, but not pick up. I just don't like that.
Yeah, I think it's weird. Do you think this is you think we'll see like a resurgence of Rock Band?
Absolutely not. I think our days of plastic music are over for a minute.
Yeah.
I just think
you don't think it'll ever come back?
No, it'll come back. Eventually it will come back. It'll be like,
imagine that shit, but like in VR. I don't know, like they could do something. Maybe with like gloves and then like I don't know how you do it. But I also think like games like Rocksmith have really like kind of taken over that market because it's like I think a lot of people are like, well, if I'm gonna fucking play a game like that, I'll just play Rocksmith and actually learn how to play guitar.
I don't even think people are playing those kind of games.
I think Rocksmith is popular enough. More popular. I think it's more popular than the last Guitar Hero game that came out. And like, I don't know. Yeah, I think everyone's kind of just like, yeah, I got my fucking fill of that shit. And I think the only way that we would see like a rock band resurgence is if they just re-released them as they were,
right?
And people, nostalgia of it or whatever.
For sure.
But yeah, as far as like the implementations into Fortnite, I have no idea what Harmonix is gonna do to like make that experience better or worse, or I have no idea. And maybe Epic doesn't know either. Maybe Harmonix doesn't know. They're just like, hey, we know you guys do this shit, so just come in here and do something. And
we'll figure it out. Yeah.
I did hear that like a lot of the people at Harmonix are like actual trained musicians. Like
they have to be.
Well, I don't know. You don't have to be. A lot of it's programming, I'd imagine. But like I think they're just like, let's just get this company that's just full of musicians and have them make the music shit.
Could be.
And it's
they make the Harmonix Orchestra or the Harmonix Band, and they play in Fortnite every weekend.
It's probably a good thing for Harmonix. I can't imagine they were doing super well. So this may have like saved them for all we know.
Yeah, it could be.
Like Fuser, I don't know anything about Fuser.
Is that Harmonix?
Yeah.
I like Fuser. Fuser is really cool. I've never played the game, but I've played the physical version of the game, which is Drop Mix. And that's a really cool idea. I want to play Fuser, but it's so expensive all the time.
Yeah, Fuser is the Harmonix. It is Harmonix, yeah.
I like that. I like the DJ just fucking random songs bullshit that they have.
Blend, yeah.
Yeah, and they do it's a really neat thing that they do. It's I don't know. It's fun. So I would like to see more of that kind of, especially with the way that the tracks slow down, speed up, blend together. I would like to see more of that sort of engineering with music,
I do think and it's kind of interesting because we'll hit on it in the next story a little bit, but like as far as VR, I think VR for gaming potential is a kind of I think it's but I think where like VR really shines is for experiences like this, for musical events and concerts, and like basically getting to, or like VR chat, like it's like an experience that maybe you couldn't attend in reality, but because of your VR you get to sort of kind of attend it, so it makes sense for something like that. But as far as VR for like anything else, like I don't know, like gaming, I just
VR for gaming just doesn't make sense. I've owned a VR for gaming. Yeah, I've owned a VR for gaming. It's fun. It gets old. But if like you're saying, I feel like VR is for like experiments, like, that one where you have to walk to you're on a plank and you're on a really tall building. And it's like, oh, that's kind of cool. That would be a neat experience. Same thing goes with like a concert, because then the concert could also have like visualizers in it where it's throwing shit at you, like throwing music notes, and you're kind of like enveloped in the story of the music rather than just, listening with your ears. It's an ears and a visual experience, which I think could be really cool to do. And it is. They did one with Disturbed, I think, which was cool, edgy, but it was different, not my sort of thing, but it was kind of cool.
Yeah, and who knows, maybe I'm trying to see here, maybe Epic is looking into making their own sort of like Beat Saber type game as well.
That would be cool.
I was trying to see who made that. It's a company called Beat Games. That checks out.
Yeah, that makes 100% sense.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on to the next piece of news.
Mhm.
This comes from Jenny Zhang at GameSpot, and we got a lot of GameSpot today. But don't expect Half-Life 3 anytime soon, if ever, a new report suggests. Half-Life 3 is rumored to not be on the way anytime soon. YouTuber Tyler McVicker revealed in a video covering what projects are reputed to be in development at Valve. According to the Valve sources McVicker talked to, there is not a major development team working on anything outside of the few pieces of software specifically tailored for hardware. The reason reportedly is because Valve's Steam Deck, launching in early 2022, has become the current focus for the company. Quote, right now, Valve is trying to get the Steam Deck out. Valve is throwing a lot at it. Half-Life 3, any kind of traditional mouse and keyboard first-person shooter at Valve, is not taking place. If it is, it's by a very small group of people. McVicker also commented on Citadel, another in-progress project at Valve. Citadel is a Half-Life-based FPS RTS hybrid that is cooperatively based. Think about Left 4 Dead, Alien Swarm, and an RTS, and Half-Life all have a baby, stated McVicker. It's being created with the Steam Deck in mind due to how the game is supposed to be controlled originally. Originally, there was supposed to be a VR asymmetrical cooperative component. However, due to Valve's lackluster view on VR in the current day, it's very possible that it's set aside. McVicker went on to state that Citadel is actively getting worked on at Valve. Citadel is very much in development, he commented. Valve boss Gabe Newell has taken a stance of not commenting on what's next for the Half-Life franchise. When asked about the future of Half-Life and Portal in a 2021 interview, Newell commented, "I've successfully not spoken about those things for a long time, and I hope to continue to not talk about them until they are a moot question. The nice thing is, by not answering those questions, I avoid the community coming up with new, equally difficult to answer questions." I found this interesting for a bunch of different reasons. First of all, we kind of got our last Half-Life, like Half-Life 3 in a way, with Half-Life Alyx. Sort of, you know, and I don't know. I think it's time to just be like, okay, we're not getting like an official Half-Life 3. I think the one thing that I found super interesting in here was they were planning on doing a VR asymmetrical cooperative component to that new Citadel game, but due to Valve's lackluster view on VR, they set it aside. So to me, that means Half-Life Alyx didn't sell as well as they wanted. It didn't do the numbers that they thought it would. It didn't change the game how they thought it would. And I think maybe Valve was like putting a lot of
resources
into VR just to find that, oh, VR isn't like gonna take off
what we want it to be,
the way we thought it was. Also, just the fact that Valve is like, they have a new Steam Deck thing coming out, and they're like, yeah, we're making one game. It's just so fucking lame, dude. Like, come on, just make something, you fucking assholes.
That's Valve. They don't need to make anything.
I know, but it's still like, I would like it if you did.
They haven't needed to make anything since Team Fortress 2, and it shows. Like, there is no need. I don't think Valve is actually even working on a game called Citadel. I think that they're just throwing shit out there like, yeah, this might be a thing. But especially by the way that they're saying it's a Half-Life based FPS RTS hybrid that's cooperatively based. The fuck does that mean? Left 4 Dead, Alien Swarm, and an RTS and Half-Life have the baby. That means you don't have a finished game. You don't even have the idea of a game because none of those things fucking work together. Like, I don't know what anybody's thinking about. Like, yeah, well, we're gonna have a Half-Life 3. No, we won't. We won't have a Half-Life 3. We won't have a Left 4 Dead 3. We're not gonna have a Team Fortress 3 anytime soon, unless like something changes and people stop buying from Valve. You know, that's kind of how it is. If they need money, which they don't, they might make a game.
Here's a fun thing for you here, Nick. Let's go back to Portal 2, okay, which came out in 2011, okay, which was 10 years ago now, okay.
Right.
So this will be fun. Here's everything they've released since Portal 2, okay.
Right.
We got Counter-Strike Global Offensive, which came out in 2012.
Okay.
Which is a good game, but it's kind of just Counter-Strike again. Dota 2, which came out in 2013. Counter-Strike Online 2, which was just like not a thing. It was, I don't even know what the fuck that is. Left 4 Dead Survivors, which was like an arcade thing. The Lab, which was a virtual reality game, which came out in 2016. Artifact, which was a card game, a digital card game like Hearthstone or whatever.
Yeah.
Dota Underlords, which is a Dota auto chess game, which was a community created Dota 2 game mode that Valve picked up, so they didn't even make it. That came out last year. And then Half-Life Alyx. That's it. That's every game they have released since Portal 2.
For 10 years.
For 10 years.
That's what I'm saying. They're all of their effort. They have very minimal efforts on their game making teams. All of their efforts are going to Steam and keeping that shit afloat, working on updates. Because I know every single fucking time I turn on Steam, it's like, hey, you've got an update for Steam. And I'm like, it's been 2 hours. Like, I just logged out and logged back in, and you have another update for me. So they're definitely working over there on updates for, I don't know what the fuck they're doing, but it's something.
Well, Half-Life 2 Episode 2 came out 14 years ago.
Yep.
Like, I think it's time for us to just stop asking.
Yeah.
And it's because it's never going to be the game you think it's going to be.
I also don't think Half-Life will ever live up to the expectations that everybody's putting.
That's what I mean. Yeah, that's what I mean by it's never going to be the game you think it's going to be. Like, it's just not. A game that I could get behind them making a new one is Team Fortress 2.
Team Fortress 3.
Yeah, that would be pretty tight for like a new Team Fortress game. Also, a new Counter-Strike would be sick.
Why? We have too many of those.
No, I think a Global Offensive it's just getting kind of old now. It's time for a new one, I think. It's been about 10 years. Like, just make a new one. Just polish up Counter-Strike. I think Counter-Strike has a certain charm to it that other games don't, other shooters don't. So just clean it up a little, make it look nicer, and just
I guess
same shit. It wouldn't be that hard for them to do.
No, I just the only thing I will ever expect from Valve again is Team Fortress 3. If they announce Team Fortress 3, I will be ecstatic. Anything else they announce, I will take it with like a heavy heaping of salt. You know, it'll be like, well, this is going to be real shit, or it's never going to come out anyway. They just announced it too early and it's never coming out. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
Or it's not going to live up to the hype. Or like if they announced a Portal 3, sure, it'd be a fine game, but I don't think it'll live up to the expectations that everybody would have for it. And that hurts. It hurts. I grew up on Half-Life. You know, I played when I shouldn't have. I played my brother's copy of Half-Life and, like, you know, just fucking whacked people's heads off with crowbars. And it's a big part of my childhood, but honestly, I don't give a shit if they never make another one. You know?
Yeah, me either. I'm kind of over it.
We got
we got the games that I don't think. Yeah, we got the games that we need, I think, and
I don't need to live in the past. I would like
exist. It would be kind of nice if they like released like a ground up remake of them, maybe, and just that would be good. Yeah, I don't even want like a new one. I think that's what I
No.
would prefer. Is just like a ground up remake of them.
Yep.
Um,
100%.
yeah, because I grew up on Half-Life as well. I grew up on Counter-Strike. God damn, I played so much Counter-Strike. I was never good at it though. But man, I think back to fuck. I'm banned. I'm banned from Counter-Strike because someone hacked my fucking account. He got me banned from Counter-Strike on my Steam account, and I often think about making a new Steam account just to
play Counter-Strike.
I would call it like Counter-Strike Jake or something, and that would just be my Counter-Strike account, just so I could play Counter-Strike again. Because goddamn, I miss it so much. But yeah, I remember playing TFC as well, Team Fortress Classic. Goddamn, that game was awesome too. And I think that's why everyone's just sort of bummed that, you know, Left 4 Dead as well, just fucking great games. Like, I think that's just the real bummer is that like Valve made some fucking banger games and now they just don't make any games. And it would be cool if they came back and made some banger games.
Well, I think they retired. That's it. That's all it was. They just retired. It's like, you know, we did our shit. We did our job. And now we don't have to do our job anymore. We're sitting in New Zealand beaches and sipping on margaritas. Like,
well, I also wonder, like, you know, now that they're getting a little bit more competition in the PC space, because, you know, they were on Match for
years.
Decade, you know, like over a decade. They were on Tested. Now there's Epic. Now Xbox is encroaching on their space pretty big, I think. I think Xbox is really the one to look out for. But maybe they'll be like, shit, we got to start making some fucking exclusive shit again. You know, they may start getting to that point where they're like, fuck, we have to compete with these other platforms now. Maybe we have to start thinking about making some stuff. And that is the beauty of competition, you know? And so I think it's a good thing that Epic and Xbox are on there, you know, really pushing. I wouldn't be surprised, dude, if next year we see Steam, especially with like the Steam Deck and stuff, and they're like, hey, we have actually been working on a new Team Fortress. We have been working on a new Counter-Strike. And on top of that, we have like 3 new IPs coming out as well. Like, I would not be surprised.
It would be cool.
Because of what's going on in the PC space right now. Like, it's a totally different space than it was even 3 years ago. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
Anyway, moving on to our next piece of news. Cyberpunk 2077 issues hurt CD Projekt's profit. It's an interesting title for this article, because when you read the article, that title is not very accurate. This comes from Eddie Makuch.
Makuch.
Makuk.
I like that. Makuch.
Eddie Makuk.
Makuch.
Over at GameSpot. CD Projekt has released its latest earnings results. And included amongst the numbers was some commentary about Cyberpunk 2077 and what's next for the studio. Starting off, CD Projekt read it remains, quote, hard at work on Cyberpunk 2077's new version for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series XS, noting that it remains on track to launch in the first quarter of 2022, between January and March. Additionally, a major update for Cyberpunk 2077 on all platforms will be released around this time, the Polish developer said. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt's PS5 and Xbox Series XS editions remains in development too. CD Projekt previously said it's on track to launch in Q2 2022 around April or June. A Cyberpunk 2077 expansion pack is also in development, but CD Projekt did not say when it's scheduled to release. The company did, however, provide a graph that shows it continues to increase the size of the development team working on the expansion. All of this is happening as CD Projekt attempts to transform its studio to become a company that makes more games simultaneously. To that end, CD Projekt recently acquired Digital Scapes and The Molasses Flood to become CD Projekt Vancouver and CD Projekt Boston, respectively. There is no word yet on what these teams are working on. In terms of numbers, CD Projekt made 144 million PLN in revenue for its third quarter, which is up more than 40% compared to the same period last year. Total profit, however, slid to 16 million PLN, down from 23.4 million PLN. The company said the downturn was attributed in part to expenses related to updating and improving Cyberpunk 2077 after its rocky launch, and costs covering exploratory work on new projects that are at the beginning of their development cycles. Looking ahead, CD Projekt will face tough comparisons in the fourth quarter of 2021. CD Projekt saw a massive spike in revenue in Q4 2020 thanks to the launch of Cyberpunk 2077, which had one of the most commercially successful launches in the history of RPGs, despite the issues.
Yeah, so shit's on track still.
Yeah, and not only is it on track, it almost seems like they're expanding. Like it almost seems to me they are slowly becoming the new Bethesda.
Yeah, exactly. I was actually going to bring that up. What seems to me is like, because even though Cyberpunk 2077 did so horribly review-wise, the fact that it sold so many copies just kind of exploded its whole system. It's just like, well, now we're gonna buy shit, we're gonna prep for the future, we're gonna expand, we're gonna make our teams bigger, we're gonna make more things at once, not just, the Witcher series. We're gonna maybe do the Witcher series and something new. It's just they're building something huge, and I want to like it. I want to like what they're doing.
Yeah.
Don't know if it's the same company that I fell in love with in like 2000.
I think this is some of the best news that we've heard from CD Projekt in a long time, even though this comes from an article saying that their revenue is down, because technically their revenue is down, but that's only because their spending is up. They actually made more money.
Right.
So like, I think this is some really good news though, as far as them just being like, yeah, we're gonna dive headfirst into a Cyberpunk, and we're gonna try our best to make it a better game. We could see a redemption arc for this game, which would be cool, because I'd love to go back and be like, this game fucking rules now.
We've actually have already started seeing that. People on Steam, people who are buying it on Steam, are actually giving it good reviews. But I'll say that with a big but. People who are buying it now have probably read the reviews of the early days and went, "Oh, that sounds like trash garbage." And now with all the updates that have come out, they're like, "It's not so bad,"
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of those those expectations. Everybody's expectation is lower, but
I still stand by the fact that the biggest mistake that they made with Cyberpunk is not making it third person. I think that is the biggest
100%.
mistake they could have ever fucking made for a Cyberpunk game. When I found out it was first person, dude, I was like immediately uninterested in it. I was like, I don't care about this game.
I'm not gonna lie, that did really deter me from actually like getting even more excited, because when they announced it, I was on the floor. I was having like a seizure when they announced it at E3. I'm like, son of a bitch, it's finally fucking happening. We've got a fucking trailer. No gameplay, but trailer. Not just a title card. But then I was reading online, and it's like, it's first person. I'm like, why the fuck would they make it first person?
It makes no sense. And apparently they had initially planned to make it third person, but it was proving to be more difficult.
I don't know. I don't know how that's possible, but
yeah, it's just that always was like, dude, you guys made The Witcher. It's a third person game. What are you doing?
It's like one of the best third person games, and like I from what I read a long time ago, it's because they wanted you to see all the little details. Well, if your game doesn't fucking run because you can't load in all the details, it doesn't really fucking matter. Make it third person, zoom it out, don't even pay attention to the details. Like, fuck, like it's you gotta focus on something.
I think them having other studios is also a good sign, because that means either they can put the new studios on like starting the development of their next game, or they can put those studios on just like focusing on Cyberpunk and The Witcher, while they work on the new Witcher, which I'm sure is their next game. And then as soon as, those two studios are done working on the Cyberpunk stuff and the Witcher re-release, I'm sure they can start doing stuff. And then we've got like an id sort of deal with Bethesda. And you know what I mean? It's exciting. It's exciting to see. Like, I hope the best for them. It'd be really cool if CD Projekt Red turned it around and we're like, damn, they just kind of fucked up, but they bounced back. It'd be cool.
I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case, because when The Witcher came out, it took a full year for people to like actually play what it was supposed to be. When it first released, people were like, this game's buggy and it's shitty, but a year later, and it's like, wow, this game's really fucking good. So it might be them just learning from their mistakes. I am one that is really excited to see Cyberpunk 2077 on the PlayStation 5. I am getting a PC, so it could run a little better on that, maybe. So I'm excited for the upgrade, and I will be playing it again. I haven't touched it since it released.
Yep, I played for about 2 hours and haven't touched it since. Yeah. So I'm really hoping that like we get a free PS5 update with our PS4 copies. That would be nice.
They've already said.
Well, then I'll wait till this shit comes out on PS5 and I will give it another shot.
And The Witcher also. If you buy The Witcher, you will have The Witcher PS5 version. So when you see a sale for it for like $5, $10, fucking pick that shit up if you don't already have it.
All right, fuck it.
But yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, this is exciting news. Obviously, their revenue is down, but I think that's just because they're taking the right actions to make their company better.
You gotta spend money to make money.
Yeah, it could also be a desperation play though, by opening 2 new studios where they're like, "Fuck, we got to get another game out quick," which would be sad.
Yeah. But I feel like that would burn a lot of the midnight oil. It would just burn a lot of their funds and not have a return.
Right, and that's exactly what happened to Telltale. Instead of like fixing their foundations, they just kept pumping out games that were buggy and broken. And we saw how that ended. So hopefully that is not the case with them. Hopefully they're doing the right thing. Let's get to the last piece of news here. Looks like PlayStation is the next company on the chopping block here.
Yay!
Yay! This comes from James Carr at GameSpot. Former PlayStation employee sues Sony for gender discrimination. A former PlayStation employee has filed a lawsuit against the company for gender discrimination and wrongful termination. Former IT security analyst Emma Maggio alleged in her suit against Sony that the company terminated her for speaking out regarding discrimination against women at the company. As reported by Axios, Maggio's lawsuit alleges that Sony violated the United States Equal Pay Act, saying Sony discriminated against female employees, including those who are female and those who identify as female, in compensation and promotion, and subjects them to a work culture predominated by men. Sorry. Maggio also said she was regularly ignored by a manager who only responded to men and passed over for promotions. She also said she was fired after submitting a gender bias complaint to the company. Maggio claimed in the lawsuit that she was let go from Sony because of the closure of an internal department. But according to her, she did not work in that department. The lawsuit also alleges that women struggle to get promoted at the same rate as men. GameSpot has reached out to Sony for comment. I don't know if they just forgot to add this, but Sony did not comment back, I guess. I don't know.
Great.
That's literally all it says. So good journalism there, GameSpot. Maggio has asked the court. It's like, yeah, GameSpot has reached out to Sony. They did comment back, but we're not going to put that in here, actually.
Yeah, we're actually not going to bring that up anywhere in this fucking thing. So yeah.
Maggio has asked the court to expand the lawsuit to a class action on behalf of women who have worked at PlayStation. Sony is the latest gaming company to have a discrimination lawsuit filed against it, with Activision Blizzard continuing to deal with the fallout of the lawsuit by the state of California in July. Yeah.
I'm going to play devil's advocate real quick and say, what if this bitch was just lazy? You know?
Yeah, maybe. And that's the thing here is, like, we don't know. You know, we don't know the full gravity of this story. This could be some bullshit. I think the thing that is, like, you know, I think I'd want to hear from, like, a couple more employees, but they probably still work there. Yep. So they're like, I don't want to get fired, so maybe we won't hear from them. So it is, like, kind of hearsay right now, and we'll have to wait until the lawsuit happens. But yeah, I don't necessarily not believe it, you know.
Right, yeah. It's one of those things. It's the very first person to come out and say, like, yeah, I've been mistreated. But it's like, we've all worked with those people that are like, oh, I do so much for the company and blah, 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 and they don't give me anything. And it's like, well, dude, you don't fucking work. Like, you don't come in. You're the least reliable person at this whole place, and you expect to get a promotion, and then they fire you. They fire that guy, and that guy's like, well, I don't understand why I got fired. And it's like, I kind of see it with this. But it's all, like you said, it's all hearsay, and I could be just playing devil's advocate for sure. And who knows? Maybe more people will step up and be like, yeah, this is happening to me too, and then I'll have to eat my shoe.
Yeah, no, I think you're right, and, like, maybe this could be just, like, someone being nutso, but I think the fact that, you know, I believe her when she's like, there just aren't a lot of females in here, and
for sure,
that's probably true, and and that's a problem that they should probably look into. I also just think there's, like, a sea change coming in the gaming industry, where things are just changing now, where it's like this used to be a predominantly male industry, and I think that's changing, which I think is awesome.
I think it still will be, though. You know,
I don't know. I would love it if it's just, like, equal parts men and women in gaming.
I don't think it should be. I don't think, like, you should. No. Like, I don't think it should. I don't think it should be for the fact that it has to be, if that makes sense. Like, if you have a company and, I don't know, you're doing video games, right? If you have a video game company and people are applying, and you get, you know, 80% of the applications are male and 20% of the applications are female, I don't think you should hire the 20% of females, because you're supposed to do 50-50 split. You know, it's like, these people over here may be better workers than you.
Right. We don't know that's the case, though. And also, why is that? You know, that's another thing to look into. Like, why is it?
Interest.
But, like, why is the interest like that? Gaming is fucking sick. But why is the interest, you know, 20 to 80% or whatever? Why is it like that? Could it be because of all these reasons people have been saying for fucking years?
Yeah, it could be.
Could it be the fact that people have heard that working in the gaming industry is being surrounded by these kind of men? And could it be because, you know, things are definitely changing and have changed already as far as, like, the games that release. But, you know, a lot of games were just like, here's girl with big boobs, you know, which is cool. Yeah. I still like that in my video games from time to time, but now it's not just that. We're definitely delving into new areas. So it's like, yeah, if it's like, you know, a 60% men and 40% female, that's still, like, pretty equal, though, in my eyes. So, like, I think it's like, if there isn't a strong female interest in gaming, we're doing something wrong, because gaming is the shit, and girls should be into gaming too. That's right. You listen to us. You listen to us, men.
Yeah,
we're the men. You listen to us, females.
You get interested in video games right now because the men say so.
That's right. You listen.
That's right. You listen to me. I am the man, and you will listen to me.
But
I mean, it's just one of those things. I see what you're saying about, like, yeah, it may be just unpopular with women because they just because of what they see. This is like, oh well, I can't play these video games because these are boys' video games, you know.
Well, and like you
And
go
it's
on
just kinda
Call of
grown
Duty, and there's just like a bunch of dudes on there being like, "Oh, are we playing with a girl?" Oh, you know, and it's like, yeah, I could see how that puts girls off of playing video games.
For sure.
You know?
For sure. Absolutely.
But yeah, as far as this whole thing with Sony, yeah, you're right. Like we don't know. We don't know, and we will see when it goes to court. We'll see if more people come out and agree with her.
We'll see if it even goes to court. They might like pull up some evidence, and then she'll be like, "Oh yeah, I was a shitty person," and we'll never hear from it again.
Yeah,
you know?
They might even just settle it out of court and just give her like $1 million to shut up.
Could be.
Yeah, I could see that happening too. Sony's got the money for that. Anyway, I'm just hoping, man, one day we can stop having these fucking stories, you know? Just like, can we have a company that's not being sexist and horrible all the time? But
yeah,
it seems to never be able. There's going to be one that comes out about Lonercast one day, I'm sure.
Yeah. And the thing that I have to say to that is just boys will be boys.
Oh no! No!
No! I don't mean it. I don't mean it. It's all jokes. I'm so sorry.
What to look forward to next week? A game I've been anticipating for a while comes out on December 2nd. Solar Ash is coming to PS5 and PS4 and
already.
PC. Danganronpa Decadence comes to Switch on December 3rd, and Danganronpa S Ultimate Summer Camp comes to the Switch on December 3rd. What a stupid fucking title. This is the time in the show where we like to take some questions from the audience, and you can leave questions on the YouTube of like Twitter. Last week's show, and yeah, you can go to our Twitter and like, you know, blast us there at LonerCast1. You know, you can blast me on Twitter at emergencypizza_, whatever. You could comment on the Twitch right now if you're here. But we got a couple here, and they're both from Cooking for Group. The first one is, what is a game you don't like that everyone loves? And how would you improve said game to make it better for you? Nick?
It's gotta be it. The first thing that came to my mind is Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Everybody fucking loves this game. I find this game empty and boring. And I can tell you one thing that would make it better for me immensely right off the bat is get rid of weapon deterioration, or make it way harder to break your weapons, like way harder. Like you can do an entire dungeon and a half or 2 dungeons with the same weapon. You can take out a city with a weapon, you know, like that would fix it. Also, I hate the horses. You can either get rid of them or improve them. And I feel like the world is empty. So just put more shit in it. More shit that I care about. Side quests that I care about. People, just movement on the road. There's nothing that moves in that game. Everybody just stays in camps. There's like maybe 2 guys that like walk around the whole thing, and they got the little backpacks with the stuff on them. But yeah, just movement. Just have people going from point A to point B. Have characters that, you know, that you may not find playing through the game because they're constantly moving around the map that I just fall in love with, you know? I just feel like the game is empty and devoid of any sort of character, really. I get so bored of those little shitty puzzle dungeons. Just walking to one, doing it, and walking to another, doing it. I'm like, I could have done that in one dungeon, and it could have been a more interesting dungeon if it was just, you know, 4 or 5 of those little puzzle things put together in one single dungeon, and then even a smaller map, if that's the case too. Just make it smaller. What about you? What do you got?
Yeah. You're wrong. Anyway.
Yep. And I know that's the whole point of this question.
I would say mine is The Witcher 3.
Nice.
And I would make it better by not making it so goddamn boring.
Wow. That's it. That's it.
Make me more intrigued. Make the pacing better. Fucking the pacing is ass garbage. The combat is like yeah, I don't know, man. Make me care about the characters more. Geralt is one of the most boring characters I've ever seen in my life.
See, I don't understand.
Hey, I didn't fight back. All right.
No. Okay, no, but this is what we got to get into. I don't understand how you can like Breath of the Wild and say that you don't care about the character, or how you don't like The Witcher and say you don't care about the characters, but then say you like Breath of the Wild and where there is no fucking character. Link doesn't say a fucking word. Nobody says anything to you except an old guy and a princess.
Oh yeah, it's not trying to pretend. It's not trying to pretend like The Witcher.
So it's just it's built to be boring.
No, it's just like, hey, this gameplay is fucking phenomenal. Have a good time. It's a sandbox to do whatever the fuck you want. That's what Breath of the Wild is.
I disagree.
The Witcher is like, it has neither thing. It tries to have a good story, it doesn't, and it tries to have good gameplay, it doesn't. So, yeah,
I wholeheartedly disagree, and I flip that on my head. I don't understand how it's like getting vaccinated versus unvaccinated. Like,
what?
are you a vaccinate? Are you a vaxxer or an anti-vaxxer? It's like you're an idiot because. Like they're so completely opposite, and I don't understand where the disconnect is. At this is a bad game. No, this is a bad game. Like, where is the disconnect? Trump's a good president. Trump's not a good president. Where's the disconnect?
I think the gameplay and the sandbox of Breath of the Wild is perfect, and I think the world building and the world design is some of the best shit I've ever seen in a video game.
And that's where it is. I don't see that at all. And even like a little bit, like it's like, and I think The Witcher has the best world building and characters in a video game ever. And you're like, no, I don't see it. So like,
it's got a lot of shit, but it all feels soulless.
I disagree. I like that. Just flip that on the head. And whatever you say about The Witcher is what I believe Breath of the Wild is. And vice versa. And I don't think we will ever reach an impasse. We'll ever reach a crossroads, which is fine. But it's so crazy to me that is like a thing that can happen. Like we're so completely different. We can agree on many different things, many different things. But this is just like,
I mean, we're both outcasts on this one, dude. Because everyone loves Breath of the Wild and everyone loves The Witcher 3. So we're both like weird on this one. So
I know it's crazy. I just don't understand how that can happen. I don't understand
how you can't appreciate the physics of Breath of the Wild. It's a crazy
physics. The physics are fine. I didn't say anything about the physics.
It's part of what the gameplay is. It's kind of the main thing.
I didn't really say anything about the gameplay other than your shit breaks, and I hate
that's like the main thing though, is the gameplay.
Oh, and then I just get bored of it.
Well. That's
it. It's just not enough physics. I'm sorry. There's not enough
so many
physics to keep me interested.
Okay, next question. Mm-hmm. Hey, Last Week in Gamecast. That's us.
Hello.
If you had to make a Thanksgiving meal, but with video games replacing the foods, what would you pick? What game would you make the main course? A turkey. A side or two, the mashed potatoes and green beans casserole. And dessert, the pumpkin pie.
Nice. Man, this is a fucking question.
That's a good question, and I like it a lot.
Damn, this is a question. All right, so
I'm only struggling on my sides right now.
So the turkey's got to be a meaty game, right?
Yeah.
A lot of fucking content, and I think I have it. Mm-hmm. The sides, mashed potatoes, kind of bland, but necessary.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Green bean casserole, great all around. And everybody loves it. And then the pumpkin pie, something sweet to finish it off. I've got one of the. Okay, let's just do it in order. Okay. So what would you do for the turkey?
My turkey would be The Last of Us.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's my main course. It's delicious.
I may change my answer.
It's meaty. It's a good ass game. It's a game I can go back to anytime, and I enjoy it.
Okay, I would, yeah. Although I would say I would change that. Say The Last of Us 2, or my first answer, Persona 5.
That's a good one. That's a good one as well.
So that would be the turkey. the mashed potatoes, something that's a little. Would my description fit for mashed potatoes? Something that's a little bland.
Yeah, let's put Breath of the Wild
it's necessary.
in there.
I mean,
well, it's a little bland, but it's
I've got one for it. I've actually got one for it,
Okay.
and it's not Breath of the Wild. It's my mashed potatoes would be Animal Crossing, New Horizon, or new whatever.
That's good. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. What would yours be?
Okay, I would actually put Breath of the Wild in there, and I would put Doom.
Doom as the green beans?
Yeah, either just as side. Those are my side dishes.
Those are your side dishes, Breath of the Wild and Doom.
Yeah, those are like my two side dishes. Yeah.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
But is Doom for everybody though? I guess I'm putting the peripherals on this, and it doesn't necessarily need to be peripherals on it.
I think, but I think Doom is a game that anyone could pick up and be like, yeah, this is sick, man.
Yeah, I get that. I was thinking Call of Duty.
Okay, yeah,
or like a Halo,
Destiny.
Destiny. Yeah, Destiny's a good one. Just like a first-person shooter that anybody can just fucking pick up and have a good time with. That's kind of where I'm at. And then this is a dessert. Mine is Hades. Hades would be my dessert.
One. That's a good one. Mine is Tetris Effect.
No, you sure they don't want that as a side?
No, that's a delicious dessert. After you're done eating,
treat.
It's a nice thing to end out the night,
I love that question.
That's a good question.
I absolutely love that question. Maybe we should read these like before we do the next one, if there's like shit like this. Because I was just not fucking prepared, and I'm surprised at how quickly I came up with answers.
I think it's more fun that we were kind of like, I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah, I like that. That's good. Thanks for the questions, Cooking for Group.
Anyway,
what would your answers be if you what would all of your answers be? Like everybody that's listening,
please,
all two of you.
Yeah.
Anyway,
make sure you check out the other Lonercast stuff. Just a reminder, the Jake and Corey podcast now has its own YouTube channel. So go find us. You can look up the Jake and Corey podcast. It already shows up. So come on, go find it. It's great. Also, good news, Nick.
I love good news.
Good news. Last Week in Games and the Jake and Corey podcast are both on Apple Podcasts now.
Yay!
We're finally on there, baby. So that's hype. Good stuff. Also, check out our spoiler casts that we do. We've been rewatching all the Spider-Man movies. We watched Civil War. We watched Eternals. Come on, get in there. We're doing all the Marvel movies, baby. Check me out on Twitter. I'm at emergencypizza_. Check out Nick on Twitter at fatal_microwave. You can find the show and stuff at LonerCast1. You can tweet at us to leave questions and whatnot. And of course, you can watch this show live, which you may already be doing if you're watching here now. Hello. Twitch.tv/LonerCast. And we are raising money for able gamers. So, come do that. Give us money for able gamers.
Well, don't give us money. Give the able gamers money. I mean, we are able gamers, but give the charity able gamers money.
Indeed.
Yeah. Okay. You know what to do. You got it.
Indeed.
You got it.
And that is the show. Thank you.
Thanks for watching.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.